this it? Is this the show? Is this where I say hi, Glenn?
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Good. I'm a little lonely. It's been forever since you've been here.
I know, right?
It's sad.
Yeah.
Well, it's another week, although, at least we're all well rested now for this show, right? Last time we were exhausted.
Yes, I was especially exhausted.
All these shenanigans.
Yes.
I got a lot of feedback about you.
I'm sure you did.
Everybody was worried.
I got feedback from a very close listener.
In your house, maybe?
Yes.
Mine wasn't that close because my wife never listens to this, but it doesn't hurt. But I got some feedback. They were a little concerned about you. Like, what's up with Glenn? Like, I don't know. Too much fun.
Exactly. Too much fun.
Anyway, so what are we talking about this week? Do we have topics? Is there a wheel to spin?
Yeah, no wheel.
All right.
Well, I think we have some follow-up.
Yeah, I meant to bring this up last week. Yeah. So, friend of the show, Andrew.
Okay.
Friend on my side. I don't think you know Andrew. Anyway, he mentioned to me we forgot something in our estimates. Remember we were estimating how many pictures per day we're taking at Disney World, and it was, I don't know, what did we come up with? Like trillions, right?
Yeah.
It's like more than stars in the sky.
Exactly.
I think millions, right? Did we?
It was quite a few. I think it was like 500,000 for the Magic Kingdom, and then so the rest, it's probably close to 1 million a day.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he said we forgot something. I don't know how much it would pile on top, but yeah, it might be somewhat significant. He said, don't forget about all the rides that take their photos every 15 seconds or whatever they are, right?
That's true. I did not think of that at all.
You got all the Splash Mountains and the Buzz Lightyears and all that stuff.
Right. All the rides.
Spaceship Earth.
Oh, my goodness.
Right. You pile those on. Yeah. So, anyway, just something else to put in.
That is thousands more.
See? I know smart people.
Yeah, you
they
do.
Talk to me.
It's a good thing.
Well, some of them I do podcasts with. All right, that was it. Small follow-up, but I thought it was interesting. Cool. We forgot all about that.
Cool.
All right. That's all the follow-up I got. What else we got?
Okay. I think you have on here follow-up. Anything else I didn't cover from my trip last week?
Well, you snuck something between those two. Okay.
I did, but
I only put this in here. Because after the recording, I think you said, if you talked about everything you want to talk about, it would have been like a week-long show.
Well,
so
yeah.
I figured give it an opportunity. Is there anything that we didn't talk about you think we should toss in there?
I don't. Nothing offhand that I can think of. I will say that I did get I finally, after a few years, picked up the what is it, like the moonshine jug for the Country Bear Jamboree at Pecos Bill's Cafe.
Yeah, okay.
But I won't say how I got it.
Why not?
Because I don't want to, if it's a secret or something, like I don't want to ruin Disney's finances any more than they already are. And so suffice it to say, they have some very nice people at Pecos Bill Cafe.
Oh, you're being silly. They did a nice thing.
They did a very nice thing.
Chocolate. It was like my hot chocolate thing.
It was. It actually was, and that's kind of what made me think of it. As I was listening back to the show,
you mentioned
that. And I just wanted to mention that they Pecos Bill Cafe. They were very generous.
So. Let's just say if the computers aren't working, it might work in your favor. I'm just saying. I've heard of that happening.
But when wouldn't they be working? So don't be silly.
Because we work in IT and we know, that stuff works all the time.
It does.
It's never held together by duct tape and hamsters.
I think they just meant they close their registers more than anything.
Well, see, now you're now you're going to get them into trouble because now they're trying to get.
But no, I can't think of anything else that I didn't cover.
Okay. Do you want to talk about the hot dogs again? Huh? Did I hear that was popular? You want to talk about the hot dogs again? I heard that.
I actually had a separate conversation at work about the hot dogs, which was
get a lot of mileage out of those hot dogs.
Yeah, but no, everything Disney Springs was awesome. Epcot was cool. Magic Kingdom was great. I can't think of anything.
No, so apparently you didn't have anything else to talk about.
No. So I put this in here. I'd like to. For whatever reason, in the last week, there's been a lot of Disney news, And in fact, the first quarter earnings call was today.
Okay.
And a few things came out of that. So I figured let's have a little news segment. And what I like to do is I'll go ahead and read off some of the news topics. And if we feel like we should discuss, we can discuss for a couple minutes and then just move on.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Works for me.
Okay. So like I said, the Disney had their earnings call today.
Mm-hmm.
And
this is their quarterly earnings, right?
For first quarter.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
And Disney's first quarter is October, November, and December.
Yeah, I think Apple does the same thing. I've never understood
I think most
why companies do
do
that. Yeah, why is that? Do you know?
It's just I don't know why. It's just when they started their fiscal calendar.
Okay. All right, how are they doing? Did they make any money?
Yeah.
They going broke?
So,
what's happening?
So, and I'm not going to get into the deep financials of it, but their earnings were $1.55 per share. They were expected to report $1.49 per share, so it was up a little bit over the expectations, but it apparently they were short of the estimates of what they thought they should have earned. So for first quarter 2017, they had a total of $14.78 billion in revenue. It's nothing to sneeze at, right?
Wow.
However, that is a 3% year-over-year decline in revenue.
Oh, dear.
And a 10% drop in profit.
Wow. That's actually the bigger, that's the bigger story.
It is.
Wow. More cabanas.
More cabanas, right?
Fix it with cabanas.
So apparently every segment, reported low. But so I'm going to focus on just the parks and resorts. So the parks and resorts reported revenue of $4.56 billion. Mm-hmm. But analysts expected $4.59 billion. And so what they're blaming is Hurricane Matthew and the timing of the New Year's holiday relative to its fiscal calendar.
Okay.
Which means their attendance is bad. So in relation,
is that what you get out of that? Yeah, hurricane and calendar, which means nobody went to the parks.
Exactly. Well, not nobody, but I mean it's definitely.
Yeah. Now, when you say it's lower, that's year over year compared to the same quarter last year.
Yeah, compared to the same quarter last year.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Rogue One has earned $1 billion. It's the first $1 billion film of fiscal 2017. Mm-hmm. They're still worried about ESPN and the drop in cable subscribers and, what the growth is for ESPN, where, there's pretty much no growth, anticipated.
I forgot they even still own that. ABC too, right?
Yeah, ABC too, but ESPN is that's the biggest one.
Yeah. All those cord cutters.
Those cord cutters. So what we've seen all year with the attendance. Now the attendance estimates, what's considered the official attendance for all theme parks will come out, I think, in May, and that's by an independent group. But what we've seen all year is they've been reporting lower attendance all year. The parks and resorts revenue has been down all year.
Which is surprising. I mean, I don't know how that comparing to like you're saying, we'll get the numbers for the rest of the industry later. But I mean, they're in a good economy, right? So there's really no, there's really no reason for their business to be done.
Right, and so it'll be interesting to see how Universal stacks up next to Disney.
Right.
Did they suck some of the attendance off or what? And so I think the bigger question is, has Disney finally hit their the higher limit on their what they can charge for tickets and food and everything else. So do they realize that, and now are they fine tuning it to say, hey, we're pretty much at the top end of everything, but there's still this group of super wealthy people who we can target and with all these add-ons that we've been talking about over and over and over again. Yep. Are they really just trying to target them with all of these just to try to squeeze out as much revenue as they can? Mm-hmm. So it's they're they're working on it, I guess.
I guess so. I mean, overall, do you want to see Disney do well or not do well?
That's a great.
I'm not being sarcastic. I'm really. That's an honest question. Do you? Which way would you rather see it go? Because there's pluses to both sides, right?
Yeah, there is. That's a really tough thing, because I would love to say I would like to see Disney take a hit, right? All around.
Why? Well, I mean, what's more important is why.
Why? Because I go back to my favorite time, right? The 80s, the late 80s.
The 1600s.
When Eisner came in and Wells came in, and they were underdogs, right? And they were doing everything they could to build this company up, and they were trying to get synergy going and all this other stuff, and they just had some fight in them, right? Mm-hmm. It just seems like the Disney of the past few years has just been like, okay, well, we're going to churn out a Star Wars movie every year, till 2020, and we'll have Marvel films, and it just seems like it's just they're just laying back and kicking up their feet and saying, okay, we gotcha, kind of thing. I just want to put some fight back into them, especially with in the theme parks. I mean, I know they're doing a ton of stuff with Hollywood Studios, but look, let's be completely honest. But Tomorrowland in the Magic Kingdom is due for a rehab.
Oh my God, that thing seems like it's always due for rehab. Even when, right. They could rehab it, and the next day it would be due for rehab.
I know, but
I know what you mean, though. It certainly does feel that way. Yeah.
So I mean, that needs help. Epcot, oh my God, Epcot needs so much TLC. Mm-hmm. So
that's a different show.
Yeah. It is. But I really, that's what I like. I like when Disney is on the ropes and they're fighting and they're doing everything they can to please everybody and try to,
That's true for all companies, though, right? I mean, like recently, I mean, such direct comparison to Apple one could make. Once you own the world and there's nowhere to go but down, then things sort of slow down because you don't have to. All right. So, right. I mean, even if, I mean, on the one hand, you could look at it as it's laziness, right? Oh, yeah, I'm just going to relax, put my feet up. On the other hand, it's actually smart business, because the more things you keep in your pocket, you're like, well, we might need to do something someday. Yeah. So, let's keep these big grand ideas we have for when we actually need them. And right now, if you don't need them, if you get no competition, like Apple with iPhones and Disney with their franchises, then why do it? It's just that would almost be wasteful, right? If you're just looking from a pure running a business standpoint. Ford, but every company does better when they're on the ropes, I think. I mean, Ford recently they started really innovating. I mean, like talk about no offense to any big Ford fan, but they it wasn't until the big collapse in 2008 that they started really pushing the edge on technology and trying to really reorient themselves. So I think I agree with you. I mean, you hope they have a little fight in them, and it seems like that's the only way to get the real fight out is make sure that there's strong competition. Yeah. So I just want to see fewer people at the park so I can have better time.
Well,
that's what I'm really after.
That was my other thing. I was going to say, there's this thing about, I've seen in the last day or two with Trump supporters wanting to boycott Disney because Iger couldn't. He had a scheduled board meeting last Friday. Yeah, and so he had to skip the meeting with the Trump's advisory group last Friday. Okay. And so they think intentional Trump supporters think that it's intentional, and so now they're trying to boycott Disney. And I'm like, yes. Boycott Disney, please.
We need a bunch of groups to boycott Disney. So
right, exactly.
Empty your parks.
Exactly. So I want to make them fight for my business, Huh.
Is it time, since you brought it up? Can I interject a little political topic? Because I don't think we have it listed as a separate thing, but I think it's kind of interesting.
Okay, can I bring it up? I can always edit. Go ahead.
What do we say in sports ball? I'm calling an audible, right? Is that what they do in sports ball? Okay,
sure.
I'm calling an audible. So, because Hall of Presidents is down for rehab right now,
yes,
right?
it is.
And there are, I think I've seen at least one, maybe two petitions to Disney to not have President Trump speak in their update.
Yes.
For whatever reason, and politics itself isn't that important. What I think is fascinating, or will be interesting to watch, is that Disney has a no-win situation on their hands, right?
Right.
Because as I was thinking about the other day, I'm like, no matter what they do, like they're a lot more creative than I am, so maybe they'll come up with something. But like, if they have him speak, they're going to piss off a lot of, they're going to anger a lot of people. Yeah.
Right.
A
little more than half the people.
I was going to say somewhere around half the people. If
3 million more than half the people. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm trying to stay neutral here. Assuming the attendance,
well, I'm just stating facts. Go ahead.
Well, I will state the alt facts. So but if they which did I say? If they don't have him speak, anyway, if they don't have him speak, or they do have him speak, they're going to anger some people. Like, how do they like? Which side do you think they're going to come down on? How do you think they're going to play that? Now, I'll put you on the spot. What would you do if they called you up and they said, Glenn, we love the Tron podcast. You guys are smart. Chris is a doof, so we're going to ask you, what should we do? And they just stop and listen to you. What do you do?
So from 1971 until 1993, only President Lincoln spoke in the Hall of Presidents. The current president did not speak. So Ford, Carter, Reagan, and George H.W. Bush did not speak, as they added each one.
Started with Clinton, I remember. Right? No,
so with Bill Clinton, they actually, and it was the same show essentially through those presidents.
Right.
In 1993, they decided to actually do a huge overhaul of the Hall of Presidents, and that's when they had brought in Maya Angelou to do the narration.
Oh, right.
And yes, they gave Bill Clinton a speaking part, and so he recorded it, and it was cool because it was the first time they had done that, and so Abraham Lincoln and the current president spoke, and so they continued that with George W. Bush, and then with President Obama. So there's precedent for having the president not speak.
President for the president.
Right.
Yeah. And the ones that did speak, it was a custom written. They didn't just take like audio clips from.
Oh no! They actually have them. Absolutely, they have them record.
Right.
Yes.
So what are they going to do? Sorry, you gave me a history. So what are they going to do?
I believe if I was a betting man, I would bet that they are not going to have him speak, and I bet they are going to say, we're going to go back to the original show, a retro show.
It's a retro. It's like we're bringing back the
original
that parade you love so much.
Yeah, exactly. So I have no knowledge. I haven't seen any rumors. I have no idea. But just guessing, I think that's the safest way to go.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because I think, and no matter which way you are on this, I think it's safe to say that if he does speak, given how people's emotions are running, at least now, I mean, who knows a year from now, but at least right now, I think they're actually inviting, like, what am I trying to say? I mean, vandalism. I mean, people might throw stuff at the animatronics.
I don't think it would ever. I don't think it would ever get that bad, but
I don't know.
They still want.
People are crazy.
People are crazy. I will.
No offense to all of our listeners. You guys are great.
But if you're spending thousands of dollars on a vacation, you're not gonna risk it.
No, you forget the day trippers.
I don't care about them. The silly annual pass holders and all.
I'm just saying. My point being that if having him not speak will anger people in a certain way, but I think it incites more anger to have somebody speak, right? I mean, just human nature, right? So, yeah, I think you're right. I think they're gonna. I agree with it. I'm trying to try to play devil's advocate, but I think I agree with you. I think that's the safest route they could take. And
Yeah.
and I don't know any of them, so it's not fair of me to say, but I'm going to guess that the Disney employees and Imagineers are probably more liberal leaning than conservative. So maybe, personal bias will creep in there. I don't know. I don't know who makes those decisions, but
yeah.
But that's still, no matter what, even from a cold practical, what's our best route? That's probably their best stand, right? It's just we're gonna go back to have Mr. Everybody loves Lincoln. Let's have him, Jack.
Right.
So.
And they can get the show back up and running quicker, and you know.
Yeah, true. Okay, I'm glad we solved that. All right, sorry. Back to the news.
All right. So one thing that they brought up during the earnings call today was the fact that there's no successor for Iger, and he's supposed to resign at I think June of next year of 2018.
Why is that?
Because he doesn't want to be CEO anymore.
Oh, he's announced his retirement? Okay.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah, he actually has already extended once.
Okay.
So they had Tom Skaggs was the successor in waiting.
Okay.
And last year he said he kind of forced the board and said, hey, if I'm going to be it, I want a guarantee that I'm going to be it. I don't, I haven't seen anything from you, saying that I'm in it. And if I'm going to, I'm still a youngish guy, I can, and so they actually said, no, we're not going to promise it to you. And so he said, okay, later, Gators. And so he actually left. They were already grooming him.
Okay.
He was, on the financial side, and then he took over the parks and resorts. And then, so he left. And so there's like nobody. And so it was between him and, I forget the other guy's name, who nobody liked, because when it was over Parks and Resorts, he's the one that really pushed the Disney parks, the
right,
generic part.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so it's between those two, and they picked Skaggs, and so he left the company.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like they had anybody to fall back on, and so I don't know why the board didn't give it to Skaggs. Like, I just don't get that. So
maybe they may not have just been ready to make that commitment yet. I mean,
yeah.
Hey, everybody wants to have their options open, right? So.
Sure. So anyway, he, Iger said, I know they'll pick somebody and everything else, but depending on the timing, I'm open to extending again if I need to make sure the company stays on track and all that good stuff. So,
okay.
Anyway, so
there's no successor, so that bothers people.
Yeah, I mean, that's not great. So, I mean, this wasn't the greatest earnings call. Okay. A little bit lower revenues all around, and there. So he also Iger talked to CNBC today, and he was mentioning that Elon Musk has said, he's on the presidential advisory council, right, so that he can have a seat at the table. And I think Iger is, he's doing the same thing, because he mentioned today on TV that they, really should not have a trade war with China, because it would be damaging to Disney's business, like really damaging.
You think?
Yeah. And so he's like, something we need to be careful about. And then he also mentions that he does not agree with the he cautioned against isolationism in the wake of Trump's executive order restricting travel for people from the 7 countries. So anyway, so I mean, depending on what happens, with China, that could have a huge impact on Disney's earnings going forward, because they have, two theme parks in China, right? And one in Hong Kong and one in Shanghai.
Yep.
that just opened that is doing bonkers business, and so they really don't want to screw that up. Another bit of financial news: Steve Jobs' widow has sold off half of her shares.
Whoa!
So she now owns a 4% stake in the company, but she's not the largest shareholder anymore.
Right, which of course used to be Steve Jobs because of the Pixar acquisition,
correct.
right?
Correct.
Yeah. So interesting. Okay.
But now that she's under 5%, she doesn't have to publicly reveal her transactions with the Disney shares anymore.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Any idea? I mean, that's kind of an odd. Well, I don't know. I'm no expert, but I think usually they sort of draw down over time. That's a huge chunk to kind of sell off all at once. Is there any? Did anybody make a statement? Any insight as to why?
From what I've read, it was so that she gives a lot to charity, and so I think it was to fund, to get ready to continue to fund the charities that she funds.
I see. Okay. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Steve was never big on. I shouldn't say he wasn't big on charity. He wasn't big about talking about charity.
Right.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Oh. Okay. It doesn't mean a whole lot, I guess, but it is interesting, right? Just from the history of it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So, two other things from the earnings call, but they're park related specific, and then we're done with the earnings call. But the first thing is that Bob Iger announced that the Star Wars themed lands at the Disney parks will open in 2019.
Are you kidding me? 2019?
Yeah.
Seems like an awful long time.
Actually, that's a year earlier than I thought, at least for Disney World. I think Disneyland will have theirs open early 2019.
Wow.
But I'm pretty sure it'll be late 2019 for Disney World, based on the amount of work that each park has done on their lands.
It must be even more massive than I realized, because I'm intentionally, which is kind of bad if I'm on this podcast, but I'm kind of keeping myself ignorant of it because that's kind of how I like to roll. But I mean, Fantasyland. How long did the Fantasyland do overtake?
Oh, it took 2 to 3 years.
Did it take that long?
Oh yeah,
it didn't seem like it. But.
Cars Land. It took that long. They take that long.
I mean, here in Florida, we build houses in like 40 days, so
yeah, right.
It shouldn't take that long.
Hopefully, they're taking their time.
Yeah,
hopefully doing it right.
Have they? Probably not. Has there been any sort of have they shown a map of what this thing's going to look like yet?
No, I mean, I've seen fan drawn maps based on
doesn't...
concept art and the actual Google map, and they placed them. They placed both Toy Story Land and Star Wars Land, and where they're gonna sit, but no, there's not an official map.
Okay.
That shows where the attractions are and all that good
2019, stuff. Man, we're gonna have a lot of episodes between now and then.
Yeah.
All right. Is that it for the news?
And then, I saved the best for last.
Oh, good.
So Iger also announced that. No, we're not done with the news. We still got a lot to go.
Let me get my comfy chair. All right.
Yeah. That's why I need to
Okay, sorry. I'll stop asking questions.
No, it's
good.
It's good conversation.
Lecture.
So mark your calendar. This is what you've been waiting for.
Oh dear.
Pandora, the World of Avatar will open May 27th.
Yeah, not for me. Not for me. It won't.
No, it will.
Nope.
Sure, it will.
No, I'm not sure Animal Kingdom's still a park. So.
It'll be open.
I was talking to somebody today. They have some friends that have lived here in Orlando for quite some time.
Yeah.
I know I'm dragging down your news things, but
it's all right.
I'm interjecting. That's what I do.
Sure.
And he's kind of a Disney fan. Has some friends here that they've lived here for a number of years, but have never been to the parks.
Wow.
I think maybe they went to Epcot once, but under really trying circumstances, probably mid-August or whatever. And I guess it wasn't their cup of tea, and I went back. So somehow I convinced them to become annual pass holders, and surprisingly, he took them to Animal Kingdom as their first their first trip to Disney World. I thought that was an interesting choice. So
that is.
Apparently they had a great time. I
Well, good.
I think I'm the only one who has always had a miserable time in Animal Kingdom. I just never had a good time there. So I don't think actually have we. Yeah, we've been there because we went on Everest.
Yeah.
Once, right?
Yeah,
but I think that was the only time. Anyway, so Animal Kingdom. All right, Pandora.
Yeah.
Okay. Next.
All right.
There's nothing else to say about that.
So a little transportation news.
Yeah. Okay.
Disney's parking trams, buses, and monorails get updates.
Whoa. All right. More doors, more safety doors.
So the trams have a new lead car, truck, tractor,
Okay.
whatever it is.
Goes 200 miles an hour.
And so apparently it's quieter.
That's good. Those things are ridiculously noisy, aren't they?
They are. And then they are also going to get, they're going to repaint all of the trams and they're going to give them monorail colors.
Oh, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is cool. So anyway, the buses.
Are they going to cover them in wraps when like the new Marvel movie comes out? Is it going to be like, oh, there's a Marvel tram? Okay.
The buses. They have new. So they have new GPS units in them. So that at the Disney resorts, bus stops, they have an estimated time when the bus is going to arrive.
Yeah, that's smart. Okay.
Yeah, it's smart.
Because that was the worst. I haven't done it in a long time, but I remember we stayed at the boardwalk, and you're just sitting there, and you're like, how the bus could be 2 minutes, it could be 20 minutes, 2 hours, you don't know.
Yep,
that's good. Okay, so will it show it on the app, or will it be like a board at the
I think it's just a board at the stops.
Okay, that's good.
Yep. The watercraft has new uniforms, and then the monorail they're updating. And I think you mentioned this when I was there that you were surprised that they're not fully automated. That they actually have drivers still.
Did I? Sounds like something I would say.
Yeah,
okay.
and so apparently they are updating them to become more automated. And I think the ultimate goal is to have them driverless and just automated.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it does seem kind of, I mean, they don't do a whole lot, the drivers, right? No offense.
Yeah, no, not these days, I don't think.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry, robots are taking over.
Everywhere.
Actually, a guy who works on my team, he used to be a monorail driver.
Cool.
Yeah. Good thing he got out.
That's a great, it's a great job. I would love to have that job.
He turned out great, but it's the only reason I hired him, because he was a monorail driver.
Right.
You're good in my book. Come on.
At Hollywood Studios, do you know where Starring Roles Cafe is?
Yeah, it's so funny. I talked to a lot of people apparently. Somebody else mentioned to me just the other day that this closed down. I didn't know. Yeah,
it closed down just 2 days ago.
Yeah. And
that was a big breakfast spot for people.
Right. That's how I know it is. It's a dumb thing, but and I know you're not supposed to, but I actually have a picture of us feeding one of the birds that would hang out there waiting for muffin crumbs. I don't know why I remember that. I don't even know why we took a picture, but yeah, because we went there, even though you think we never go to the parks early, back a long time ago, we used to have breakfast there. Cool. So, yeah. So what's going to be there? Probably Starbucks, right?
No, nothing. That's the whole thing is. That's
what?
Weird. Is like they haven't announced anything, so it's just like they're closing it.
And it can't be that place didn't make enough money to.
Oh no! Every time I went, that's number one. That's where we got a little breakfast, and then number two, right. It was always busy.
That's strange.
Yeah,
we need insiders to come on the show and tell us what's up.
We do.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of the Super Bowl halftime show?
No, actually, I was at Disney World, ironically.
So for the 120 million people that did watch it, there were drones that were used in the show.
What? I missed drones? No way.
Yes, and they were the same. They were twins of the drones that were used at Disney Springs for Christmas.
Oh, okay.
It was presented by Intel.
Yeah. They're really pushing this.
They are, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm sure that's on the YouTubes, right?
Yes, I think it is.
I'll check that out. All right.
Last Thursday was the 25th anniversary of Port Orleans Riverside.
Wow. Okay. I've never stayed there. You have though, right?
It's awesome. Yeah, I love it.
Why? Just because it's like home? So it's like you leave home, but you're at home?
No, it has nothing to do with it. It's just awesome.
Okay.
So apparently Disney has a new VIP tour. It's called the Ultimate Disney Classics VIP Tour at the Magic Kingdom. And it's a 4-hour tour led by a tour guide. And basically, instead of like the Keys to the Kingdom, where they take you backstage and tell you all kind of cool stuff and all this other stuff, you ride 10 rides in 4 hours.
And they tell you all about the history of them, and they show you the concept art.
They might, as they're shoveling you on the rides to get you on these 10 rides in 4 hours.
Okay.
But
there's a theme here. There's a theme. You don't like these things. These premium experiences. Not a fan.
Look. Okay, so it's $200 per person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, $200.
Wait, hang on a second.
Listen,
$200.
$200.
Okay.
For 4 hours.
Wow. Okay.
And 10 rides.
That's like $100 a minute or something.
And it doesn't include your regular admission. You need that as well.
No, stop it.
No, I'm not kidding you, man.
So this is just so this is basically, hey, I've heard that when Tom Brady, right? He's like a famous like a VIP or something.
Yeah.
When he comes, he just gets to like walk around and go on rides. I want that kind of treatment, but I'm nobody, right? I just happen to have a lot of money from wherever.
Right.
I get it. Okay. So this is what you and your family will be doing when you're back down?
No, I don't think so.
Wow. $200.
Yeah.
4 hours. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'd love to hear sort of like, I wonder if anybody listens to the show would do that. Like, tell us about it. Where do people contact? Like, are people supposed to email us? Have we told people what to do?
They can email us. They can reach us through Twitter. They can. I think
Twitter's probably the best. We need to find one place and ask people together. Twitter's probably best, right?
Probably, yeah.
Twitter. Right. Go to Twitter. It's easy handle, right? At Tron_FM.
Yes, that's it.
That's us, right?
That's us.
Yeah, they should. Send us some tweets.
Yes,
that's a good way to do it. I want to hear like if anybody's done this. We'll have you on the show. We'll send you a mug.
There you go. We will.
Glenn will pay for it.
That's fine.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. Just a couple more things. We're almost done.
We're still in news. This is still news.
Yes.
It's now old news.
The Flower and Garden Festival. The entertainment lineup was released.
Yeah.
And
it can't be any different than it ever is. But go ahead.
Guess who is going to be there?
Michael Jackson. Is that a bad guess? Why so
Believe
much
it or not, Starship with Mickey Thomas will be there.
No.
Yes.
We've joked about that. Did they actually do that?
Yes.
What else? Can we get them on the show? We'll get them a mug.
I think
Let's get them a mug. Well, wait a minute. How many people are in Starship? That's a lot of mugs.
Oh, that's true.
Wow. Well, who else? Anybody that's even on the? I feel so bad. I'm no performer, but except for this thing. But is anybody else that's like halfway decent?
Real quick, it's John Cicada, Dennis DeYoung, with the music of Styx, the Pointer Sisters minus at least one sister. Simple Plan.
Does it say most of in front of like in parentheses? No. Most of the
Simple Plan. I don't know who they are. Plain White Tees.
What? I don't even know who these people are.
Night Ranger.
Oh, Night Ranger.
Sister
Christian, right? That was
very good, and that's the actual song that they have. So you know who they are.
Yeah, well, that's right. They always put like the name of the song. So that's only one step above. Do you know who I am? No.
I don't know if I should go on or not, but the Little River Band.
Yeah. Okay.
Blood, Sweat, and Tears featuring Bo Bice. The Gin Blossoms.
Wait, Bo Bice, wasn't he in
American Idol?
Yeah. Okay.
Gin Blossoms.
Okay. Oh, really? They've fallen that far?
Okay. Now I'm not lying about this. This is actually what they have. I guess this is the actual name of the band. So it's the orchestra starring former members of ELO.
Oh no, it is not.
Yeah, I swear. I swear. I'm
so
reading it
terrible.
verbatim from the Walt Disney.
Oh my god. The orchestra.
Site. Expose.
Do I know them?
Berlin featuring Terry Mills.
Berlin. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. How did they get?
Wow.
Did they get Berlin? Then our favorite Starship. Then the Guess Who.
Okay. Yeah.
And then Herman's Hermits, starring Peter New.
Okay. Well, that's at least okay.
And the Spinners.
Wow.
Ends up
That
with
is
the
quite a lineup. For nobody under the age of 40, apparently.
Are you going to go see any of those people?
Not only am I going to see any of them, I'm going to go see all of them, and I'm going to try and get autographs if I can. Wow, that is I guess what else are they going to do though? I mean, they got.
Oh no, I know.
That's a tough thing.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. There's a late entry. 3 doors down.
Shut up! Really?
No.
I didn't know who they were. Are you joking? You're joking.
I'm joking about that one.
Okay. I still don't know who they are. But
yeah, wow. All right.
Me and 1.5 million other people.
So then a little bit of Universal news.
Wait a minute. What show am I on?
So Mardi Gras at Universal.
Oh, no. You're not going to rant, are you?
Let's see. It begins last weekend.
Begins in January and ends in December.
And they have, it goes, okay, so just for those who don't know, Mardi Gras.
Settle in, everybody. Here
is
it comes.
February 28th. And Mardi Gras, the words Mardi Gras are French for Fat Tuesday. So the whole idea is it's your last day of celebrating. It's your day to eat and, be a glutton and everything you need to be before the day before Ash Wednesday. And Lent starts. And so that's the whole purpose of Mardi Gras.
I've seen videos that say otherwise, that is not the true purpose of Mardi. That is not the true meaning of Mardi Gras.
Okay. All right. Well, those videos are incorrect.
Okay.
And so anyway, I love how Universal, theirs goes from February 4th through March 25th. Like it just blows right through Mardi Gras, the actual Mardi Gras, and just keeps going.
Are you done?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Glenn, look, people just want to have fun. Don't be such a downer. They want to throw some beads.
So they actually have
they
have like a higher class of performers performing at their Mardi Gras celebration than Disney has at their Flower and Garden Festival.
Not too surprising though, is it? But I mean, who do they have? Do they have Michael Jackson?
No, they have it was Tracy Atkins this last one. And then this week coming up it's Neo. Do you know who Neo is?
Yeah, Neo.
Okay. And then Collective Soul.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then X Ambassadors.
No idea.
Then Coldplay.
Stop it.
Then what?
Is it Coldplay? For
then
real?
U2.
Okay, yeah.
No. Then Fifth Harmony.
you got me.
Yandel.
Could have been.
Yandel. Do you know who that is?
No idea.
Yeah.
Listen, I just learned the other day that the Weeknd was not a band, that it's a person. So this is not my forte.
And then, but wait. Okay, so now, but then it's Olivia Newton-John.
I know her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then UB40.
Okay. Yeah.
Then Toby Keith.
Oh yeah, I know him too.
Then Jason Derulo.
No idea. Nope.
Then Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Usually, if it's somebody I don't know, it's either it's gonna be like rap or country.
Jason Derulo is
yeah.
And Toby Keith's country.
I know Toby Keith. Okay.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Why are we covering this? This
and
is
then
not
the
really
All-American Rejects, because it's Mardi Gras and it's Universal.
Because you just want to.
And it's in Orlando.
Oh my God!
I don't know why they have better acts than Disney does.
Well, I bet you I know why.
Well, there's only one. Go ahead.
I bet a lot of it's logistics. I think that's that stage that they put people on. I mean, because there's no real backstage to it. I mean, you got to walk through the crowds to kind of get there, right? There's no like tunnels and stuff, is there?
To Epcot's?
Yeah, whatever that.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah, there's.
So I think it just because it feels too small, right? So if you're an actor, you'd be like, yeah, I'm not gonna play that venue. You got like 200 people in there, and
it's
it
pretty
feels
big
small.
at Universal.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Is that they have because that's what the performer's going to look like. Is what is this venue that you're asking me to play? Because I'm too big for that thing. Like Toby Keith's not going to. It would not only that, but it would be like a problem. It would be if you had somebody too popular, it would be a crowd management problem, right?
Sure.
So
okay.
So, Starship is.
Yeah. And then the last thing I have is
there's more news.
Just one more thing that's really cool.
Is this going to be on the test? Just tell me.
Yes, it is. So the Nerdist, you know the Nerdist.
Yeah, yeah, it's a great site.
So today they posted an article about the Disney Animation Research Library.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah. So read the article. I'm going to put the only reason I'm just saying this to let you know you need to look in the show notes because I'll have a link in there.
I always read this. I always read those.
I know you do. And so there's a nice little article, but there's also a video at the bottom. So
perfect. Because I don't read a lot. I watch a lot of videos.
A lot of pictures.
Good.
A lot of video. So
I like that. Bullets? Any bullets? I'm good on bullets.
No bullets.
Okay.
Mr. President. I mean, Chris.
Video's fine.
So just video and pictures. So.
All right. Cool.
And then now I'm gonna shut up.
All right. We'll see you next week where we will cover more scintillating this week in financial reporting.
Crazy. I didn't think it'd go that long.
Wow. No. Oh, you didn't. No. I dare you. Double dog dare you leave that in. I had to explain. Remember, Christmas time. Remember that time not so long ago.
Yeah.
So I bought, or most bought. I don't know. One of us bought at Target. They had like a collection of pint glasses with pictures from the Christmas story. Christmas story.
Yes.
The little kid.
Yes. And
on there it says, "I triple dog dare you," and it has the picture. And so I had to explain to Evan what that meant. That is a hard thing to explain.
Yeah, right.
I explained that to a 5-year-old.
Yeah,
anyway, whatever. I thought it was humorous.
It is.
Oh God, I gotta get another host on the show. All right. What else? What else?
Okay. Do you want a little trivia about A Christmas Story?
Yeah, of course I do. I love trivia.
You ready? That ties back into Disney World.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Go.
So the narrator,
yeah,
and I think he's the director of A Christmas
Story. I think
Story.
You're right. I think you're right.
Is the dad in Carousel of Progress, the current Carousel of Progress?
No, really?
Yes.
Now I'm gonna have to go watch that again. Wow.
Actually, yeah, no, it's true. It's true, and
it's true.
They actually have a couple little nods to A Christmas Story in the current version of Carousel of Progress.
No, BS. Like what? Name one.
I can't think right now. And the reason I know this is because of Retro Disney World's podcast. They did an episode on the Carousel of Progress. And
I love those guys.
I know they're awesome.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a little bit of trivia.
Okay. Well, hey, I learned something today. Quarterly reports and that. What else we got? Spin the wheel. Right. What's next?
So, I believe, amazingly enough, this is becoming a pretty frequent part of the show. But
what's that?
I think it's Chris Visits Disney Corner.
What? Am I? Wait, I'm up? Did I do something?
Yeah, you're up.
Yeah, what kind of music would this be? There needs to be music here. It should just be trip report music because it could be you. Yeah, you were just here.
Right.
Yeah, so we got a trip report. Something. Yeah, so I went to the Epcots.
Cool. And what'd you do?
Well, don't you want to know why? I mean, because I usually have a reason.
Why did you go? Yes, because
it's like climbing Everest. Have you ever gone with like a 5-year-old and a less than a 1-year-old? It is not an easy trip. And I tell you, I would say my wife and I didn't appreciate it, but I think we knew at the time. Have I mentioned this on the show before? We used to go, it'd be like Friday night, I'd get done with work week. It'd be like, hey, let's go to Disney. We'd go out and, go wherever. Magic Kingdom, Epcot, whatever.
Sure.
And think nothing of it. And now it is such a production, and I'm so tired. But, I do it for the show. So. And
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So.
And all thousands of our listeners appreciate it too.
The millions of people that tune in. So mostly it was because I had intended to go a week or two prior for the Festival of the Arts, and I didn't want to miss the things that were out there, at least with all the concept art stuff we talked about last time.
Yeah.
So and it was a nice weekend. So I said, hey, let's plan to go out there, and so we did, and We got out there at the crack of 1 o'clock in the afternoon because
Nice.
that's when reasonable people go. But I have an excuse because I knew I was going to get lip from you. My excuse is, we got a little baby and the baby had to take a nap, and the baby napped until 12:30 or so. So we couldn't go till after that. That's my reason. So,
what time do you wake up in the morning?
Oh God, 5:30.
Okay.
But he's got a nap. He can't go out before his nap. He'd be
what time does he go
monster
down for his nap?
10, something like that. What?
You just making stuff up, man.
No, I'm not. Ask Melissa, she'll tell you. Anyway, shut up. So we went out there and I drove. I was shocked again at the premium parking price of $35. I'm like, who's paying that? That's crazy.
$35
for the premium parking.
Oh my goodness.
So now what would you think? Super Bowl Sunday. So that was the other reason we decided to go, is like, maybe it's not coming through on the show, but in case anybody's not noticed, I'm not a huge football fan. So I thought Super Bowl Sunday, everybody should be home eating, their Frito pie or whatever people have, and rooting for the Falcons or whatever. And would you think it'd be busy? Not busy? What would you think Epcot would be? Now we're going in the afternoon, right? The game is what? 6 o'clock? Is that when they go?
6:30 Eastern.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Right. Yeah. So I'm talking Eastern time here. So yeah. Would you think crowded? Not crowded?
Crowded. Of course, crowded.
Really?
It's
Why?
Sunday at Epcot.
But
it doesn't matter. I've been there during the Super Bowl. I was at Disneyland last year during the Super Bowl. Trust me, it's crowded. It doesn't matter.
And the strange thing was, and you're right, it was super crowded. The strange thing about it is that I saw tons of people there in their football gear. I'm like, well, people, if you're a huge football fan, what are you doing here? Go watch your, this is your big time, your game. Even people with that New England team, they had their things on. Yeah. So anyway, it was pretty crowded, but I wanted to see that. I at least wanted to go see some of the thing. Now, we weren't going to be there that long, and I knew my son was not going to have the patience to go around World Showcase, whatever. But I figured I just want to leave a little flavor of the Festival of the Arts, get a feel for it, because it's the first time, right?
Yep.
So I at least had to say I was there.
Yep.
So we got there. My son, it makes me so proud. He's like, where are we going? I'm like, we're going to Epcot. He's like, I love Spaceship Earth.
Cool.
I'm like, yes, you are my son, no matter what anybody says. I can tell. And so he was looking forward to that. He's like, we're going to ride that the moment we get there. And I said, maybe we will.
Right.
Depending on how long the line
Depends on the line.
We absolutely might ride that as soon as we get there.
Right.
And I did some fast passes beforehand because what did I do? I set up Spaceship Earth? Yeah, Spaceship Earth. Actually, our fast pass was like right when we got there, so that worked out well. And actually, fast pass for Epcot is weird. I don't know why, but it's weirder than Magic Kingdom. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, because you have tiers.
Yeah, okay. So I'm doing this, and I'm like, wait a minute, this feels like what it used to be for the Magic Kingdom. It used to have like, almost like the e-ticket tier and the whatever. So, okay, so it wasn't in my imagination. It is different at Epcot than it is.
Oh, absolutely it is.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that makes, why? Why, Daddy? Why?
Because the Magic Kingdom has so many quote unquote blockbuster attractions that they just opened it wide open because to limit it to one A group and then two in the B group, it's just it was way too complex and it didn't spread the crowds out properly. Okay. And so Epcot though, because Epcot and the other two parks, because there aren't as many blockbusters, they can tier them into groups A and B.
Right. Okay.
And so you can only pick one from A. So your Soarin', your Test Track, your I guess Mission Space is in there.
Right.
Frozen, of course.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's the A tier, and then the B tier is everything else.
Frozen is just don't even bother. I mean, it was never available. But anyway, so yeah, I booked Spaceship Earth and Living with the Land because I like that, and actually my son loves it. And Soarin', which was a big if because my son, I think I've mentioned before, my son is he's not the tallest kid in the world, and I think we just barely squeaked by on Spaceship Earth or not Spaceship Earth, Star Tours last time. And Soarin' is the same height requirement. And so I know you're not a big fan of Soren, but I knew he would like that, and I haven't been on it in forever. I hadn't seen actually the new movie since they changed it from the Soren over America to whatever the world. And so we got there, we did Spaceship Earth, then we went over and we did the land ride, which I love. I mean,
sure.
Am I an oddball? I mean, do people like that? I mean, it never seems particularly crowded, but
I don't know, but I love it. I ride it every time I can.
Yeah.
Like, and my kids like it.
Yeah, I like it mostly because it is the Epcot of old, right? I mean,
Yes,
it's like,
yes.
I hate to be like the old guy, whatever, but I mean, it's, it's still, which means of course they're going to change it any second, but it's still like the original vibe, right? It's like we're going to entertain you, but educate you at the same time, and look at all this great sciencey stuff that's happening, and they actually had something new there. I was surprised they had. I don't think I noticed it before. They had in the actual, where they're growing all the food and stuff, which, you would think like to a 5-year-old that would be boring. Like, oh, they're growing plants, whatever. He loved that part. It's like we're outside, but we're inside. Yeah. And, but part of it, they show this sort of, which seems pretty smart. They showed this sort of, it's a combination of the, I don't throw away the science terms right now, but they're growing plants on top of where they're farming fish. So I guess like the fertilized water
hydroponics.
Yeah, hydroponics and aquaponics. There we go. Which I don't remember that before. It seemed like a new addition. Which
it's been there for a few years at least. I know.
Really, I guess I just noticed it last time, which made me feel good because like I always wonder like, is that just staged? Like, are they really doing things there or not?
Oh,
but
no,
I guess they really are still doing things.
Yep.
And so yeah, we did that. That was cool. And it was a little while till our Soarin' Fast Pass. So took that opportunity to go to the Odyssey, which is that little hexagonal, whatever that building is, to go see the art stuff. And even though you told me about it and I listened to the show, it was still different than what I expected. Number one, it was way smaller than I expected. I don't know why, but I thought there was a bigger space in there. Plus, they have it's like two sides of it. They have two very small little galleries of Herbert Ryman and names. Mary Blair? Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very small, like little tiny, like 10 by 10 areas, right? Great paintings, go see them, but very small.
I didn't get that across, obviously, in everything I said last week.
Yeah.
That's why they just took because they've both done so much more for the Walt Disney Company. That's why they limited it to certain genres.
Well, and I just figured this was the first of the Festival of the Arts, and these were two major artists. I don't know why, I just assumed it was going to be much bigger than that. But most of the room is actually filled up with it's like a demonstration area. You know how they give like cooking. Well, you were there, but for the other people, they give like cooking shows and things at Food and Wine. It was like an area where they have like art demonstrations. Did they do any of those while you were there? Did you say that?
They didn't have any going on when I was there, but like one was ending.
Okay.
And people were like leaving as I was entering.
Well, we actually stayed there, and I don't mean to complain, but we actually stayed there because, my son loves the show, whatever sort of presentation there could be, and I thought it'd be kind of neat. They had like a table up there with like stuff on it, and like maybe somebody's going to paint something, and we'll get to see that. And we stayed for the show, and it was I'm not even sure this is an art, but I'm sure I'm going to offend people. But aromatherapy, I was like, how do you do a visual demonstration of aromatherapy? That seems like a non-starter, but that's what it was.
Was it good?
No, we didn't even stay for the rest of it. No, it started like this. How are you going to do a visual demonstration of aromatherapy? I'm going to describe to you the smells I have right now. It's amazing. Anyway, but it would have been neat if it was some other sort of visual artist thing. And that's just kind of a side note. That's one thing I didn't expect out of the Festival of the Arts is that it's about all kinds of artistry. They had, because I just naturally, and because we have, this time of year especially, we have so many art shows in Florida because just the weather's so nice. So like every municipality has their little downtown art show one weekend. I expected it to mostly be just sort of paintings, visual arts, but they had living statues in front of the fountains in Future World. And I noticed, and we didn't eat any of the food, but I noticed as we walked through at least one small portion of World Showcase that the food booths they have there were pretty much just like Food and Wine,
Mm-hmm.
But I noticed from people walking out with their plates, the presentation of the food was very artistic. They make like little arches out of foods, and it wasn't just like slop it on your plate and here you go.
No,
so I really
cool.
like that. Yeah, I didn't expect that. Was that it was much more all kinds of artistry, rather than just visual arts, which I thought was that was impressive.
Yeah.
And in fact, in the Odyssey, they have a little food pavilion, a little line there, and we actually got. They called them donuts, croissant donuts, but they really weren't. One had like cream cheese in it, another one had like salmon and stuff in it, and so again, artistry is sort of culinary artistry, and it was pretty good. So, I mean, I just had a tiny little, literally tiny little taste of the Festival of the Arts, but I think it's got legs. I'd like to see what they do in the future.
Exactly, that's exactly how I walked away from it. It definitely has potential. I mean, there's absolutely for like we've said before, the Food and Wine Festival and Flower and Garden both started really small and grew.
Right.
This one actually started, I think, bigger than those two started.
No doubt.
So,
because I think it's got that history of those to draw from. And
exactly.
The food booths are very much like Food and Wine with just a little kind of different slant to them. So I didn't, because I had the youngster and it was just that time of the day. I didn't have time to go through World Showcase, so I didn't get to see a lot of the actual art that was spread around. Yeah, I can't imagine what it is, but so I'm looking forward to it. At least I could say I was there this time. I managed to avoid buying anything, because
you didn't get a poster like me.
There was a poster. There was actually I was very tempted by the coffee mug, but it was the colors were a bit sort of pastel for my taste, but it had Figment on it. And speaking of Figment, I
got a Tervis.
Those two, yeah, you can have it. My son loves like Journey into Imagination. Like I said before we went, I said, well, what do you want to go do there? And he's been to Epcot that he remembers like maybe twice. Spaceship Earth is always the first thing he says. Never says Nemo, even though he likes it. But he said the Imagination ride, which I was kind of surprised at, but okay. So he liked that. I'm like, son, if you could only have seen it back then.
I know, right?
And it kills me. I think I've said it before in the show. It kills me so much, the first part of that ride where you get in a little semicircle around the thing, and you're just looking at the little projections on the wall. I'm just going, And I don't know if it is or not, but I have this feeling like the Dreamfinder is actually behind the wall. It's just still sitting there collecting dust. I don't know where it is exactly, but is that just me? Does that kill you when you're looking at that and just like it was right here? That part and the whole what about science part just kills me.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what we rode to do my own segue here. We rode that going back, so we headed back to the land, and we managed to get my son on Soarin', and which I like. I know you're not a big fan. I like Soarin'. I think I
like it. I like it.
No, you don't. You've never liked Soarin'. What are you talking about? You spit and growled at every second when they were building that thing.
Well, because it's completely out of place where it is. I mean, it doesn't belong there, and they were just trying to. It's a cookie cutter of what they had at Disneyland, and it was under the guise of for Disneyland's 50th, bringing it to all the parks throughout the world, and anyway,
whatever. If you just judge it on its own merits, just as
it's fine. My kids love it too, and so I've come to enjoy it.
Yeah, and you know what else I like about it is
I like the music too. I like the
yeah. And I like it now that it's around the world because my son knows a few of the things because he sees them in books and whatever. So like he's seen the Taj Mahal in a book, and he's like, Taj Mahal, and so and he sees some other ththings, and so I get to explain what that is. And but one of the neatest things I think about Soarin', and I'll try to see if I can dig up an article on this, and I think you read it. I read it like maybe a decade ago. The ride mechanics, and I think they actually had pictures of this. The engineers that came up with this, because they were trying to figure out how to do the ride, like the Imagineers had wanted, the designers had come up with. They actually used like erector set toys. You know those, right? Those little girders and things. And they built it like in miniature from that, and then that was the actual model they used to then go build the whole thing from. And I just the engineering of that is just fantastic.
Right.
So I don't know if there's any way to dig up something on that, but. So we wrote that.
I'll write a blog post on it.
Could you?
Sure.
I would love that. All right. Done. You got to do it.
Okay.
But he loved it. He thought it was fantastic. I've never seen him so excited on a ride. He thought it was just the best thing ever.
Yeah.
So we got off, and so we met up with my wife. Huh?
How does it look though with the the new around the world, because it's all CGI now, unlike before it was actually filmed. I mean, does it look good?
It's all CGI? The
Sure.
whole thing?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
The whole thing?
No, it can't be.
Sure it does.
Stop it.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah. That's why I'm asking you.
Well, now I don't like it as much. Really?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, I mean, I knew they had CGI elements, but no, it can't be because they were flying over the Arctic with the polar bears. You're telling me the polar bears were CGI?
Absolutely.
Well, then there you go. It was pretty good CGI then.
That's why I was asking to see how it really, did you know did anything take you out of the, the.
Well, it's funny you say it. When we were looking at the Taj Mahal, we're flying over. Now it's hard because I'm paying attention to my son. He's having such a good time, and it's the first time riding. But I will say we're flying over the Taj Mahal, and I'm like, that doesn't feel quite right somehow. Like it just didn't. I remember thinking that, but that was the only one. But I mean, there's the castle up on that can't. It can't be completely CGI. No way. Why would they do that? Why not just film it? I mean, you telling me it was cheaper to do it in CGI?
They own Pixar. What?
Well, that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Good Lord.
We have computers that can do this.
Do you know? Can you imagine the cost of flying over all these things?
No, it can't be that much.
I mean,
come on. I got a drone. Send up my little.
Well, that's drone. True. I didn't think about drones, but it's all CGI.
Wow. Well, now I don't like it as much.
Wow. Well, so that's why you say that, and I do appreciate Soaring Over California. I haven't seen the new one yet.
Okay. You haven't? Okay.
No, that's a lie because I have seen it on YouTube and everything.
Well, no, that doesn't count though.
Right. So I haven't been in the attraction, so I haven't seen.
I will say, and I didn't say before because I don't know how much is my poor memory at my age or whatever. I will say it didn't feel as immersive as the old one did. It felt a little flatter, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
and that's what I would expect you to say.
Yeah. Okay.
That's kind of the feel because before it really was filmed and like you were there, like it was mistakes and everything, right? And little Easter eggs and everything else, but this they can do whatever they want, and it's like. Does it did it feel like you were not to it's a horrible thing, but like you're watching episode 1 of Star Wars?
Well, it's funny. I was about to say, well, look, if they're going to do CGI of the whole thing, can they just make it Star Wars and then that Star Wars? I'd be much happier.
Right.
Wow.
Because each one, so you ended in Epcot, right?
Yes. Right.
Okay. So in Disneyland, you end in Disneyland, like different endings and stuff.
Yeah, of course, my son was like, is that what's happening outside right now? I'm like, no. In reality, it's a tough thing to explain. But anyway, so we got off, and my wife was waiting outside the, in the waiting area with the baby, and she said while she was there, a cast member handed her a baby swap fast pass.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with these?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, I'm kidding. So explain it to me. So I'm a little confused because it was a fast pass for 3 if we wanted to do a baby swap to come back. And I said, well, we're not coming back. Why don't you and my son just go use it now? And I guess our son, Evan, why don't you and Evan go use it now? But how does that work? So if it's for 3, you'd actually need it for 4, wouldn't you?
Well, no, it should have just been for 2 because so the baby swap, you need somebody to watch the baby, right?
Yes, usually.
So if it's 4 of you.
Yeah.
And one of the adults has to stay with the baby the whole time.
Right.
So that means the other 2 stand in line.
So just like we did.
As normal, right?
Yeah.
And then...
wait, stand in line, you don't get fast pass? You mean stand in line?
Well, so if you have... See, I don't know how it works if you have fast pass.
Well, that's the thing was. It was a fast pass.
No. You had fast pass for Soarin', correct?
We did.
Okay.
Yes.
So I don't know. I don't think I've ever done it where I've had a fast pass for something and done baby swap at the same time.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It was a little odd because it was.
But you've
Fast
already
Pass ticket.
So with Fast Pass, in theory, you've already waited in line. Let's just pretend because it works the same regardless.
I know she gave it to us assuming like we would come back and use it, but I'm just trying to wonder like how does that work? So if we showed up,
come back. Huh? I mean, you can come back, but I mean, the reality of it is. Two people, you go on the ride and wait in the normal line, whether it's Fast Pass or standby. Okay.
Right.
You get off.
That's what we did. Yeah.
Okay. And then you hand the Fast Pass to, or, whoever, you swap.
Yeah.
And so Melissa and Evan go and they ride the ride, but they don't have to wait. They have a Fast Pass at that point.
Right. Okay. Yeah, which I would understand. I would think that Fast Pass would be for 2. I'm not sure why 3, but maybe
that was just a mistake. I mean, it was
they
what she had in her hand.
Okay. No, okay. Yeah. So it was handy. So they went back on and they loved it again, and it was fun. So we're at the land, and we decided just to have dinner there, which is I don't know what it's called, Sunshine something or other, Terrace maybe, I don't know. Which is actually a pretty good place to have dinner. Right? They got a lot of choices, and it's generally healthier food than just hamburgers and 14-foot hot dogs that you get over the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that was it. After that, we went home.
Cool.
Personal new record of I got from the land to my front door in 48 minutes, which was pretty nice.
That's not bad,
right? I mean, it took half that time just to get to my car. So
I mean, really, yeah.
I live kind of close. So it was a good trip. I mean, it was short, so we got there, I don't know what, 2, just before 2, and we left about 7. So yeah, but it was
so fun. So you didn't miss much of the Super Bowl.
What is that? Yeah, I pretty much missed all the Super Bowl. But we got home at 8. Kids' bedtime, that takes forever. Yeah. So yeah, I heard it was a good game though. Like overtime.
It was a horrible game for 3 quarters.
Depending on who you wanted to win.
With 9 minutes left in the game, when I was about to change the channel, everything changed.
Wow.
They start, the Patriots start coming back little by little. And I was like, they can't, there's no way. They need 2 scores and 2 2-point conversions. There's no way they can possibly do that.
So what happened? Did the other team go home too? Because they're just like,
I mean, that's kind of what happened, man. It is like, I don't know. I don't know what happened, but it wasn't good for the Falcons.
Yeah, well, apparently not. Poor guys.
Poor guys.
Well. Yeah, well, at least Tom has his fifth ring. All right, so cool. That was my trip report. So I thought it was fun. So I wouldn't say A+, but solid B+ to an A on the Festival of the Arts. I think is a great first round. So
good. I'm glad you liked it.
No, just glad we got out there because I think it ends this weekend.
I think next weekend is the last weekend.
Yeah, so
because like February, March 10th is the start of Flower and Garden. So they have like a 2-week turnaround.
Well, see, they just need something. Well, I guess it's summer. They wouldn't. I was going to say they need something between Flower and Garden and. And Food and Wine. It's called summer.
Poor schlubs who are slaves to the school calendar. Is what
God help them. Ugh. I don't know how they do it. All right. What else? This is like a 7-hour show. What else we got?
Do you have a charity spot?
Yeah, it's going to be really short this time. Really short. Because I heard the other day that February is National Heart Health Month or whatever. Okay. So I'm actually going to repick my charity from before. Heart.org. Okay. I have that right? The American Heart Association.
I'll make sure it's correct.
Yeah, thanks. So I just figured do that again. I mean, heart health. I mean, I don't know if everybody knows this or not, but you kind of need your heart, and you only got one of them. Unlike those kidneys, I mean, you got like a dozen or so of those floating around your body. But you only have one heart, and that thing just beats all the time. And you hope. And it's anyway. This is the month to kind of pay attention to that. So that's my pick. Heart.org.
Cool. I need to look into getting a heart.
Yours are just 3 sizes too small.
Is that it?
Yeah. At least 3 in metric.
All right. Picks of the week.
No, I can't wait for. I've been waiting.
Now I see this weird note, and I haven't looked at anything. So,
actually, let me talk about that. That's actually not my pick of the week.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
No, I was going to, but I thought because I wanted to talk about it, but I don't have any personal experience with this. But I was just, and you might just look at this and go, yeah, okay, whatever. I was fascinated by this for a couple of reasons. So I got to get to our notes. All right. You can look at it now. I just want to get I didn't want you to have time to think about it beforehand. So this is a tiny little company. I have no idea even how I found this. I think it was an ad on another Disney site or something. Okay. These are called coviers. I guess is how you pronounce it, like covers, but coviers.
Yeah.
And these are like little fabric covers for your mouse ears, and they come in all different sizes and patterns. And I had never seen these things before, but these kinds of things just, I don't know why I'm fascinated by these. Like somebody like, hey, you know what? I need covers for my mouse ears. I'm gonna start a business. And lo and behold, they got a website, they got promo pictures, they got product. God bless them. This is almost like something you would see on Shark Tank. Like, so if we have like a Disney oriented Shark Tank, they have some here for graduates. They can get they have the year on them and stuff. So I don't know. I just thought it was fascinating. Have you heard of these guys, Coviers?
I never have. This is
not an ad. They're not paying
ingenious.
for us. I just came across this. I don't know how. The prices aren't bad. They're like $9 for a set. Yeah. So it's not my pick. I don't have. Do I have a set of mouse ears? Well, I do. Yeah, I got my R2D2 mouse ears. But I thought it was fascinating. Kudos to them for having a business idea.
Absolutely.
And I don't know how it's going. I hope it's going okay for them. They got T-shirts too.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get them on the show. We should get them on the show, and they can talk about how this business started. This almost strikes me as like, have you ever watched Shark Tank? You know that show?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Every once in a while they have like kids on. Like these kids have this idea for this product, so the parents help them bring it to market and everything. Yeah. This almost has that kind of vibe to it. I'm fascinated.
And it very well could be.
They have art like how to use coviers. It's fascinating. I think it's great. Frankly, this is something I think Disney should buy. Like buy this company, give these people like trillions of dollars, and sell these, because these are no sillier than
no, they're not.
The Magic Band little extra things that you put on them and stuff. I mean, this is not that bad. I don't know if it's sacrilegious to cover up Mickey's ears, but it doesn't seem so.
No. So Disney's done it themselves. So this is cool. This is very cool.
It's kind of neat, right? They got some promo pictures. Looks like all their promo stuff's from Disneyland, so maybe they're out west somewhere.
Oh, maybe.
Anyway, getcoveears.com. What, coveears.com was not available? Getcoveears.com. Not an ad, not an endorsement, just saying it's kind of a neat idea.
That is cool. That's very cool.
So, all right. But actual picks. Can we do actual picks now?
Yes.
I'm waiting for mine all day. I'm very excited about mine.
Yes. I went first last week, so
all right,
you pick if you want to go or defer.
I'm so excited about this. So, I don't know if I mentioned before. Maybe I have. I'm kind of into home automation.
Yes.
Because I'm lazy and I just want robots to do my things for me. And the problem with home automation is, aside from the money spent on it, is the more of it you do, the more of it you need to do. It's sort of like you develop a tolerance for the high and you need to keep going. So I noticed like a few weeks ago that I'm like really irritated by our TV system, because we've got the cable box or TiVo, depending on your choice, and we've got a Roku and an Apple TV, and trying to explain, like when we had visitors, I think that was the final straw. We had some visitors. I'm like, well, okay, if you want to do this, then you got to change the TV over to input blah blah blah, and the blah blah blah. And I'm like, man, if I can only just what could I do to tell my Amazon Echo? Can I just talk to it to have it change some things? And I did some looking around. And I found out, the Harmony remotes. You remember them?
Yes.
They've been around for a while. They were independent, and then I think Logitech bought them. But they used to make those all-in-one fancy, like $200-$300 remotes. They're great, very expensive. But they make something called a Harmony Hub, which is it's a little box like a Roku or an Apple TV or something, and it has a little IR blaster to it. And it does exactly what I just said, which is you can train it to talk to your different devices, your TV, your cable box, etc. And then there's a skill, an Amazon Echo skill, that's what they're called in that world, that you can download for your Echo, and then you tie them together, and all you sit there like the big lazy schlub that I am, and you can say, I won't say her name, but Echo, hey, ahoy hoy, turn on the TV. And it'll turn it on and set it to the right input for the cable box. And you could say, watch Apple TV. and it'll switch to the right input and turn on the Apple TV. You can say watch Roku. You can even get it down to watch Netflix, watch Plex, and it just automatically does all the things it needs to do to line that up. Like, I didn't even have to configure all that stuff. It sensed what devices I had on my network and said, oh, you have a Roku, you have an Apple TV. And I don't know if it checked what apps I had on the Roku. I think it's just sort of pre-configured, but it already knew how to do Netflix on the Roku and Plex on the Roku. So now and it worked so well. I mean, I will say Logitech software group could use a little bit of help. It was a little rough, not the greatest user experience, but it wasn't that hard. And it was nice that a lot of it was automated. But now that it's set up, it's the best thing ever. So now when I have family come over and like, hey, if you want to watch whatever, just say, hey, watch Apple TV. The next thing, I have to get one more IR blaster for the cable box because it's in a separate little location on the entertainment center. But once you do that, you can even name channels. You could say,
wow.
You could say, let's watch Hallmark because I know that's your favorite. Let's watch the Disney Channel. You can name all the channels and tell what channel number it is, and it'll just automatically change to it. I mean, it is the future. It feels great. So
that's cool.
That's my pick. It for some reason, it got very mixed reviews on Amazon. But somebody I work with said it worked great for them, and I got one worked pretty good for me. So I give it an A+. I think it was great.
Cool.
And, so the Harmony Hub.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's my pick. As you can tell, I'm very excited.
Yes, you are. Okay, my pick is so I don't know about you with keys.
Oh dear. Okay,
but
like actual metal keys, like for a door?
Actual metal keys, and you're talking about home automation, and you probably just well, I know what you do. You don't even really need keys, but anyway, let's pretend that you had a bunch of keys in your pocket, right?
Okay,
on a normal, regular, ring.
I do have that though, because I have keys, and I actually still have like 6 or 7 keys that I don't know what they go to, but I'm afraid to get rid of them, so I still have them on my keychain. So, go ahead.
So this was on Kickstarter a little while ago, and I actually it's been months and months, and so I saw it. I'm like, you know what? I think that would actually help me, and so I actually signed up and ordered one, and it just came a few weeks ago, and oh my god, it's changed how I carry my keys. I used to have a pocket full of just these loose keys that were always poking me in my side and my leg and everything, and they would bulge out and they would make noise when I walked and all this other stuff, right?
When you walk, what are you trying to be stealthy? All right,
I am.
Okay.
So it's so I saw this new keychain called Orbit Key, ORBITKEY.
I think I've seen this. Okay.
And basically all it is a leather strap and with a screw, and you put your keys on the the shaft of the screw, and you close it up, and then you fold them all in the leather loop. And
it's like a Swiss Army knife, right?
It almost is exactly like a Swiss Army knife, and that's what they end up being. And I also ordered a multi-tool, so it has like a screwdriver and a bottle opener and all that good stuff on it.
You know what? You're such a sucker. Just a side note, you're such a sucker for those. Hey, as long as you're buying this thing, why don't you buy this other thing that kind of goes with it? Okay.
Well, it was between. I was trying to decide between that and a USB key, if you will. And I'm like, I don't really use USB.
Yeah, right.
Someone with the multi-tool.
Yeah, multi-tool. Okay.
So anyway, since I've had this thing, it's been so great. I can still put my fob for my car.
Yeah.
On it.
Wait, how does that work?
Huh?
How does that work?
So on the fold of the loop, it comes with a D-ring, and so you put your little the ring from the fob on the D-ring, and it's connected. So that's the only thing that's kind of loose, but it's so big that it doesn't really.
Did you have this when you were here?
Yes, I did.
He didn't show it? Oh.
No, I didn't.
A missed opportunity. All right.
So anyway, it's awesome. I love it. It's and I should have had this as my pick like a long time ago, but it's so awesome. It's one of these things that that you don't even think about it anymore, right? Because it's solved the problem and
so
it's like it's done.
I didn't want anybody else to know about
it. And so anyway, so that's my pick of the week.
Right, do you have they comes in leather, rubber? What do you have?
I have the black leather.
Black that's sold out.
With the black D-ring. It's all black. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's awesome. But it also came for Kickstarter. It also came with a rubber one.
Oh, okay.
So I have I think a bright green or gray rubber one or combination. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't used that one. So
these aren't cheap though. I mean,
they're not. I think I paid like $40 or something.
Yeah, that's what it looks like for leather. It's $40, but they look cool. So is the bottle opener here? Is that what you're talking about? The multi-tool thing? Yeah. I like how you call it multi-tool. But
no. So this is I'm on the Orbit Key webpage. Yeah. This is their first generation one. The one I got, the Kickstarter one, was the second generation.
Wait, the Kickstarter was the second generation?
Yeah.
Oh.
So they improved.
Usually it's the other way around. Okay.
What they already had.
Oh, I see. Okay.
They did a Kickstarter for the first gen too, but
I see. Okay. They got lunch. Very cool.
I'll put a link to. I don't know if the Kickstarter is still active or not. If you can still get it, but
now, what if I had two fobs from because I got my car and
I do. So I do. I have two fobs, and so the one for my car, I actually keep loose.
Yeah. In my pocket. Okay. All right.
And then the one for the truck, I have. That's the one I have the Orbit Key on.
Very cool. Be careful with those loose fobs, by the way. Easy to lose.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, Thank you. Make sure you tell me that.
Very cool. Nice pick. I wish I had seen this when you were here. Oh, well.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. Guess I have to buy one now.
Yeah. It's a shame I don't get a kickback.
Yeah, you should.
Of some sort.
That's called advertising.
It is, I know.
Very nice. All right. Well, a fun week. We had a lot to talk about today.
We did. Well, because I was in such a foul mood last week, being exhausted and everything, I think I wanted to make up for it this week. So
this was a better mood? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, amazingly enough, I think I was in a better mood this week.
Okay. Well, we'll see what the audience thinks.
We'll see. Yeah. We'll see.
At least you don't sound sickly. So
right. I think that was a huge part because I was trying to hide it and not cough and
I'm telling you, people were worried about you. Not your wife. She was fine.
No, she couldn't.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Gosh, we're next week. This is going to set a high bar for what we have to talk about next week. So
I know, right?
Okay. I think we covered it.
Okay.
Hey, again, Twitter. People, please talk to us on Twitter. We want feedback. We really, really want feedback. Send us some tweets so we can hear what you like, what you don't like. Unless it's about me, I don't want to hear it. It hurts my feelings. So it's what? At TRON_FM, right?
That's it.
Just like our website. TRON.FM. Same thing. Okay. Cool. See you later.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of Terrific Recordings of Nothing. Follow Chris on Twitter and Instagram at CBGray, and Glenn on Twitter and Instagram at DizWiz. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Tron_FM, and on Facebook at Terrific Recordings of Nothing. For all things related to the show, including show notes and links to connect with us, visit us at Tron.fm.